everyone, welcome to Working on It. I'm Dr. A and I'm a clinical psychologist aiming to make your life just a bit more manageable. Remember, the tools and the tidbits that you pick up on this channel are purely educational. They can't replace therapy, but with some practice, they can help you along in your daily life. Let's get started. Today, we'll be working on how to be heard and how to make people listen. We're gonna call that assertiveness. There's a lot of, I think, sometimes confusion about assertiveness and whether being assertive means to be aggressive, and we'll sort of dispel that today. All of us want to be heard and seen, especially when we have strong or passionate feelings about something, especially when we want to defend ourselves or ask for something that we need. So around this time of year, we're around a lot of family. Sometimes family are great, but sometimes family get a little nosy and break our boundaries, right? And sometimes work is great, and sometimes we think, you know what? I deserve a promotion and I'd like to ask for it. So those are just two examples, but obviously there's endless reasons of why and in what situations we might want to be heard. So today I'm going to teach you how to do that a little bit more effectively. So what we're going to do is we're going to start to think of it like a continuum. On one side is being passive. And what passive means is when people treat us a certain way, and even though we want to assert our needs and we want to stand up for ourselves, we sort of bottle it up inside and try to just move past the moment. Aggressive is on the other side of the spectrum. And aggressive tends to be a lot of you statements. You did this to me. You made me feel this way. And so the other person oftentimes is like, la, 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 not listening and just thinking how to defend themselves. So what do we want? We certainly don't want to bottle things up. And we certainly don't want whatever we're trying to express for the other person just to be thinking of what they're going to say next and not really listening to us. We want the sweet spot. And the sweet spot is being assertive. What does it mean to be assertive? To be assertive is two things. It's to reach out and express what you are entitled to. And in different settings, you're entitled to certain things. You're entitled to things as somebody's family member. You're entitled to certain things as somebody's friend. You're entitled to certain decency and respect at work. So assertiveness, first and foremost, is reaching out for the things you are entitled to. And second of all, assertiveness is I statements. That's the difference between aggressiveness and assertiveness. Assertiveness, we express what our experience of something is. I felt this. I experienced this. You statements are, you're this and this and this. So in assertiveness, it's harder for people to argue with us because how can they argue with what our experience of something is? In aggressiveness, it's very easy for them to argue, right? Because we're making accusations and they're not listening. They're just thinking of what to say next. And guess what you're going to do? Think of what to say next. And it goes like this. So passiveness is bottling up. Aggressiveness is just escalating. And you statements, assertiveness, and the way people will hear us most is if we say I. Now, I'm going to actually give you a little formula to start. Write it down because I think it would be more helpful in a way, but we can use some version of this formula to start being assertive, and then as you get some practice with it, you can do your own version of it. So here's what we're going to write down. I feel or think blank. That's the first part. The second part is when you blank. You see how the you comes in second. I comes in first. I feel or think blank when you blank. And then the third part of it, give them a way not to piss you off. Give them a way out to not upset you. And the third part will be then, so I'd prefer it or I'd like it if you blank instead. Now I'm going to give you an example. Here's an aggressive version. Let's say I'm waiting at a restaurant, and my friend is late, like really late. And I'm mad about it because I've been sitting there. And so this person comes in and I say, "You're so inconsiderate of my time. You only think about your time. You didn't even care that I was sitting here." Now, what is she gonna do? She's just gonna be like, "I'm not inconsiderate. I had blah, 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 blah," right? It's not gonna get us anywhere. And she's not even listening to anything you're saying, even though you're trying to express that you're hurt. Now, the assertive version of that would be, I feel really frustrated and upset when I have to wait for you wherever we're meeting and when you're late. I feel really upset about that. So next time, if you think you might be late by more than 10 minutes, I would just appreciate it if you shoot me a quick text instead. It will make me feel way more considered, and it will make me feel like you respect my time. Now, it doesn't mean that when you're assertive, your boss will give you that promotion or your friend will have the perfect response. But assertiveness and talking in that I language will make the other person listen. At the very least, they will have heard what you said because they're not busy coming up with a response to that aggressive statement, right? Okay. Let's practice this in the exact formula that I said. I feel or think blank. Now remember, I feel is an emotion. I feel angry. I feel upset. I think is a thought. I think you don't respect my time. When you blank, when you're constantly showing up late. And the third part, how to not upset you. So I'd really appreciate it if next time, blank. That's it. It's just one sentence. It's not a rant. And the other person is way more likely to listen to you, and you're way more likely to get your needs met rather than if you're being passive or aggressive. I post videos every Tuesday and Thursday, and in the next video, given that it's going to be around that New Year's time, around that resolution time, we're going to talk about how to set goals and actually stick to them. That's the key part right there. So I want you to practice with this assertiveness. I know it's the more annoying part now that we learned it, but I really want you to have lots of opportunities, or give yourself lots of opportunities, especially around the holidays when we might be around more people, to really practice being assertive and seeing how people respond to that. And when you do, let me know in the comments what setting you practiced it in and how people received it. You got this. See you next time.